Today in Grow a Garden in Roblox, it is a joyous day. As such, I think it is the perfect time to do an updated trading list for you guys, taking all the information I can find from all the different websites on the internet, compiling them together, averaging them out, and putting them into a tier list for you. If this sounds interesting, go ahead, hit that red subscribe button, become part of the first 10K OGs on the channel, and let's get into the video. This is my current tier list as it stands, going from SS tier all the way down to D tier, and it is filled with many, if not all, of the relevant pets in the game. If I miss anything in this tier list, go ahead and comment down below and let me know what should be added to it. Starting with the Kodama and the Corrupted Kodama. Guys, I regret to inform you that these Kodamas are now pretty much worthless. With the Zen event rotating, there's no longer a need to have Tranquility or Corrupted whenever you harvest. That's not very useful. Having it on the plant side, you can use it down the road with a Raccoon is useful, but on harvest, useless. These pets no longer have any function when the event rotates. Goodbye, Kodamas. Moving on to the Ankylosaur. I made the mistake last week. I thought it was a 3% pet. It is actually a 1% pet. As such, he's in the B tier because he's rare. Those eggs are gone, and they're kind of desirable. Seriously, I was only able to get like one Ankylosaur the entire time. After that, we have the Butterfly, who is an S-tier staple. Butterflies are amazing. Dragonflies are kinda overrated. Long live the butterfly. And it's not just me that thinks that. The market agrees based off of everything I can find on the internet. Then we have the Axolotl, who for the first time is able to successfully move up to the C tier. Since the Axolotl gives you extra fruits when you're harvesting summer fruits like, the sugar apple, it has been very useful when farming many of these events. Then we have the Bear Bee. Poor Bear Bee. One day you'll be valuable, one day you'll be useful, but I'm pretty sure in the upcoming event, which drops tomorrow, they're going to be giving us a honey glaze spray, so the poor Bear Bee is just going to be horrible. Then we have the Disco Bee, and the Disco Bee is up in the top of S tier significantly more than the Butterfly. The Butterfly is very valuable, but the Disco Bee is even rarer and even more valuable, to the point where you could get 3 butterflies for 2 Disco Bees. That's kind of how valuable they are. Then we have a Kappa who's solid but down towards the bottom of D tier. But you know who's not towards the bottom of D tier? You have all 3 of the blood pets. It's actually amazing how even to this day, all 3 of the blood pets have major use and they're relatively rare. The blood hedgehog is how you do the horned dinosaur method and any other prickly plant method. The blood kiwi gets you really fast eggs and therefore is useful. And the blood owl is the fastest way to level up pets. It's the best owl in the game, and as such, it's in the B tier. Relatively rare, all very useful. The blood pets rock. And now we move on to our first SS tier in the game. That is the huge pet. I've mentioned it every time in these trading videos, so I'll only mention it briefly here. Common huge pets, like a lab, are basically worth a butterfly. Maybe less than a butterfly, maybe a dragonfly. But super rare huge pets, like that huge Spinosaurus down there on the ground, those are worth 10 plus raccoons. They're practically priceless in this game. So huge pets have a huge range in value. Then we have the Brontosaurus, who has dropped down to the C tier a little bit more than the Axolotl right now. I love the Brontosaurus, I want a huge one, but they're just not that rare and not that great. Do you know who is rare and is great and keeps climbing in value and I just can't believe it? It's the chicken zombie. It's up in the A tier now, no matter where I looked on the market, that the chicken zombie keeps climbing and climbing and climbing. People love it as a collectible pet, it has a useful mutation, and it's not that common. It's going up. However, the dragonfly is still a good chunk more valuable than the chicken zombie right now. Dragonflies are still very popular in the market, but they're fairly common in comparison to other 1% and 0.5% pets, so they're in that tier. Now you know who's not in the A tier? The poor cooked owl. Could you imagine if they re-released the cooked owl in this cooking event? People would be so upset. Even though it's already as common as dirt, I don't know why I thought that'd be funny. Then we have the Dilophosaurus, and the Dilophosaurus is actually kind of useful. He's up here in the top of the C tier. Go ahead, acquire 7 Dilophosauruses and put them in your garden with your one pet you want to age, and watch how fast that pet gets older. It's insane. The hedgehog is basically a worse version of his better brother, the blood hedgehog, but it's still relatively rare, so it's at least a C tier. Frying mantis, we're down in the D tier alongside the pterodactyl. Both of these pets are fairly mediocre and no one really wants them that much. But you know what's not mediocre? The queen bee. The queen bee is right here at the top of the B tier. For some reason, the queen bee has gone down in value just a little bit. Nothing crazy, but enough for me to go, man, it was so close to the A tier, but it's not quite there anymore. It's firmly in the B tier. The red panda is also in the B tier. Fairly common, though cute and desirable, even if its effect is pretty bad. These other two pets, though, the scarlet macaw and the seal, both have useful effects, but they're in the D tier because they're rather plentiful. And now we get into the interesting part of this tier list. The T-Rex has dropped a little bit in value. It's right between the mimic and the chicken zombie. I don't know why. It's a wonderful pet with a great effect, not to mention the fact that the eggs are no longer in circulation. Why is it dropping? Is it because there's new hotness to look out and people are moving on from the old boring? The Spinosaurus, same thing. It's at the top of A, but it was really close to getting into the S tier the last I looked at these numbers. But it's dropping in value. I think people just want the new, the good. The Raichu is firmly in the B tier, alongside the red fox and such. Little bit rare, kind of a weird effect, probably gonna drop in value if I had to guess. I almost let a Raichu eat my humongous horned dinosaur down there, thinking to myself, oh, I'll just put the static effect on it before I quickly read it eats the fruit to spread the mechanic. Don't you dare eat my horned dinosaur room. Raccoons, gone up in value just a little bit. Firmly in the S tier, right beneath the B, the disco bee. The raccoon's about 10% less than the disco bee in value. That's why they're super close. You can trade them 1-to-1 back and forth, no problem. Raccoons are basically the stones of Jordan of Grow a Garden. What do I mean by the stone of Jordan? Way back in the day, Diablo 2 Online, trading the regular currency gold in Diablo 2 became worthless. So people used the ring, the sword of Jordan, as a currency for trade. Whether a piece of armor or a weapon was worth 1 cent of Jordan, 2 cent of Jordan, etc. That's basically the raccoon. Now everything expensive is valued in terms of how many raccoons. For example, ascended pets, really high demand ascended pets. Your average ascended pet, doesn't matter if it's a lab or a monkey or whatever, is worth roughly 3 raccoons in value. Now if you have a rare pet that's ascended, let's say you have an ascended queen bee or you have an ascended raccoon, obviously worth more than that, but your basic ascended, just used to apply the downbound mechanic, is roughly worth, right now, 3 raccoons in trade value. Huge pets can range between a dragonfly in value for a common huge, all the way up to like 10 plus raccoons, 12 plus raccoons, depending. Which leads me to the kitsune, who is definitely worth more than an ascended pet now, is worth roughly 4 raccoons. Actually, according to all the averaged out data I have, it's worth pretty much exactly 4 raccoons currently, which means, if you think about it, the kitsune has dropped tremendously from when I was making these videos a week and a half ago. And then finally, we have the corrupted kitsune. And I believe the corrupted kitsune is probably at the lowest trade value available in its history. This isn't to say that you can't go out into a random server and have a kitsune and someone can offer you a raccoon, offer you a disco bee, because look, it's a kitsune, it's cool. There are tens of millions of players in the game. You're going to run into people who will trade you whatever you want for whatever you've got. It's going to happen. But smart traders who understand the value don't value the kitsune high because it is so common. The kitsune currently, according to the markets, is worth less than a queen bee. And that is my trading tier list, guys. Hopefully you found it useful. Hopefully you found it valuable. If you did, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, become part of this first 10K OGs on the channel, and as always, thank you very much for watching.